You said I'm next, so I'm just waiting for the mic, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
And Honorable Speaker, I want to start by really thanking you for this opportunity. And before I get to the subject matter, you know, when I hear Honorable Kenan talk about our culture and how we apply it to today's world, I get amazed because Speaker, in quotes, there is this saying, he says, "Mwachamila ni mtumwa." We seem to have ignored that saying, and it was a really a saying from wise men. So we've really come with modernization, and we seem to have ignored our culture. At one point, Honorable Speaker, I did work in your region, the whole of Northeastern. I used to do a lot of community work there. And I can tell you for sure, we would say we want 300,000 shillings, and we'll get it in 1 hour. Just because of trust, you know. Your people have really relied on trust. So when I hear the trust bit is getting eroded, I get worried, Honorable Speaker. Let's stick to our culture. Let me come back to this bill, Honorable Speaker.
You can't legislate values.
Yeah, how I wish we had a way of ensuring they remain. Honorable Speaker, if my memory serves me well, Honorable Mutunga was used spearheading the same bill. And this bill, the objective is just to have a legal framework which ensures that the professionals in the agricultural sector have a framework to do their work, where we are talking about what is required in terms of qualification, academic qualification, what is required in terms of job training, what it takes to do their work in a more structured way. And that's why I want to support this bill, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when I was a young man, and in the lower Form 1, Standard 8, there was this common saying that agriculture is the mainstay of our economy. And then, Honorable Speaker, agriculture sector was the main contributor to our GDP. At the same time, Honorable Speaker, agriculture was the main employer in our economy. And if you look at the statistics, Honorable Speaker, because I remember very well, you realize that a lot of Kenyans had put their efforts in practicing agriculture and ensuring that agriculture is properly done. And I remember at one point, Honorable Speaker, those early days, I used to see what we call extension officers visiting us. My own mom, who we call Mulu, has always remained a very serious farmer. And then, Honorable Speaker, our farm used to be what we used to call a demonstration farm. So I would see the whole village being mobilized to come to our farm, and then you have extension officers coming, Honorable Speaker, to come and train farmers how farming should be done. Then the issue of technology was not very much applied, so it was more of manual and the training they were getting in the institutions. Then, Honorable Speaker, we had agricultural training institutions, our colleges, which were really very important. And you realize then, Honorable Speaker, a lot of the professionals actually were going to do agriculture. And if you went to the university to do agriculture, Honorable Speaker, you had to get a job immediately you leave university, and you are among the highly rated professionals then. What has happened over time, Honorable Speaker? Over time, because as a country we've not really put the kind of resources we want to put in agricultural sector, people have been kind of discouraged to do much in agriculture. And that's why we really want this, I want to support this bill, because what this bill is saying is, if you are agricultural professional, Honorable Speaker, now we are giving you a framework so that you can be trained properly, you can be remunerated properly once you leave college, and you can continuously be trained, Honorable Speaker, to ensure that you provide the services expected of you to Kenyans. So this bill is very important, Honorable Speaker, and that's why we think we really need to support it as a House. And this time my prayer is that it doesn't it expires within the Parliament before it is passed to be an act of Parliament. But there are a few things we need to observe, Honorable Speaker. This being a professional body, and this has happened with many other professional bodies, the lawyers, the mendics, Honorable Speaker. What we are doing, the current now way of doing things, is to ensure that once we give them the legal framework, Honorable Speaker, then we make sure that in terms of financing this body, then it is self-financing, that the professionals will be paying on a monthly basis or annual basis so that they are able to meet their budgets without really looking at the consolidated fund, Honorable Speaker. In that case, then, we'll ensure that it's a more stable body which can remain over the years without really relying on the exchequer. That is important, Honorable Speaker. The next important point, Honorable Speaker, is also to make sure that it's only professionals who belong to this body, because we have seen some bodies where there's confusion. You realize people who don't meet the minimum requirements to become professionals in that particular discipline, claiming to be professionals. And what is happening, Honorable Speaker, because of these many things are happening, you know, there are these things called honorary degrees, which are coming all over the place. You have honorary degrees in religion, others in other areas. So I hope, Honorable Speaker, people who get these honorary degrees will not claim to be professionals in this area, because honorary degrees are an honorary degree. You are given maybe because of your experience in the area, but doesn't make you be a professional in that area. So these are some of the things you need to guard so that these professionals can be motivated. And Honorable Speaker, I really think, despite the many changes that have happened in this country, agriculture still remains important to our country. Honorable Speaker, as an economist, because I do analysis, I can tell you for sure, Honorable Speaker, anytime agricultural sector does well in terms of growth, overall GDP grows well. It actually increases, which means still our GDP growth is so much dependent on agricultural sector that if we ignore this sector, Honorable Speaker, we remain challenged. And that's why, for me, I believe this idea of relying on rains, what we call rain-fed agriculture, Honorable Speaker, is not the strategic. We need to start thinking about irrigated agriculture. That's why I'm so discouraged when I see, when we are campaigning, we promise so many acres of irrigated land. When we are in the office, we do a quarter of what we have promised, Honorable Speaker. I have in mind what we call the Garana Kulalu of Tana River, Honorable Speaker. This is a serious irrigation project. How I wish we are able to implement it, because it will be able to provide food to this country. But you can see implementation has faced challenges, basically because we don't make provisions in terms of resources for that particular important project. So, Honorable Speaker, as we support this, we need to kind of refocus our energies and our efforts and our resources to the agricultural sector, so that when this framework is there and we have the right professionals, Honorable Speaker, to provide extension services, then, Honorable Speaker, we can now push our agriculture sector to where it should be. And I want to encourage the county governments, Honorable Speaker, to make sure that even as they recruit, because recruitment has become a critical issue in the county government and very controversial, that they prioritize recruitment of agricultural extension officers, Honorable Speaker, who are professionals, so that our grassroots, our farmers, have the necessary respective governments, which have been in this country, have not managed to feed our people well. And that's why at times we have to start importing food. When our neighbors here, Tanzania, you remember they export a lot of food to us, Honorable Speaker. And this is what we are saying. We have the best agricultural land in the region. We have the best brains in terms of professional expertise, Honorable Speaker. Like where I come from, Honorable Speaker, the Ukambani region. We can produce maize in a year twice. The only thing we lack is water. But over time, Honorable Speaker, I can tell you with the authority, because I'm a leader there, we've not been managed to be given enough water to irrigate our farms. Why? Because people want us to, so that we rely on leaf food always. And as a result of that, then they can come back and tell us, vote for us, we'll give you food. We have said enough is enough. As we move to the future, Honorable Speaker, through our county governments, we will ensure that we irrigate our land, we'll feed this country as we feed ourselves. So with those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I want to urge your colleagues that we support this bill so that we put agriculture sector where it should be in this economy. Thank you so much for the time, Honorable Speaker.
Let's hear from the other Makali. There are two Makalis, one from the east and one from the west. So this is now Makali from the west.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for that opportunity to allow me also, Makali from the west, to contribute to this bill. At the outset, Honorable Speaker, I support this particular bill. As has been pointed out by agriculture is the backbone of our economy. It contributes almost 20% of our gross domestic product. 40% of Kenyans are actually employed in the agriculture sector. But as has been pointed